All right, I'm back, and I think I might be the right way round this time. So I will just wait and see. Ah, I am! Yay! Brilliant. All right, so thanks for coming, people. This is a bit impromptu. I made this card yesterday. Hey again, Tina. I'm the right way round this time, Tina. That makes a bit of a change, doesn't it? I made this card yesterday, just playing around with some leftover punch sprigs that I had. And I thought, I've been wanting to try out making a wreath. So I had a little go, and this is what I came up with. And I was pretty pleased with it, and I posted it on my page and on my blog and, everywhere I possibly could. And I had lots and lots of people asking about how did I make it? How long did it take? How many sprigs did I use? And I thought, do you know what? The easiest thing to do would be to do a very quick Facebook Live. So, excuse me. So I was getting myself ready, and I thought, I better make sure I actually can make it again. So while I was waiting for the kids to finish their game, I quickly made another one. And as you can see, if I bring the two together, they're the same. So, ta-da! Because there's nothing worse than making a card and then thinking, I'm going to make another one of those cards. It's so good. And then actually not being able to recreate it again. And I'm sure a lot of my crafters, that sometimes you do just make a one-off card, which can never be made ever again. But it turns out that I can do it twice. So fingers crossed we can make it a third time around. Now, the products I'm using for this is the sentiment on the outside and on the inside, if you can read that, is from the Timeless Tidings stamp set, which is just here. So that's it here. It's got some beautiful sentiments, really good sentiments, very Christmassy, not necessarily ever so religious, because I know a lot of people don't necessarily want religious sentiments at this time of the year, but these are absolutely beautiful. Now, you might be thinking, I don't think I've noticed those in the catalogue. Well, I'll tell you the reason for it. I've got my catalogue here. Because the Timeless Tidings stamp set is actually, here we go, if I move my bit of paper, is actually part of, I don't know if I can get it in here, there we go, is actually part of the Timeless Tidings project kit. So this is the project kit you can buy, and it makes up 20 cards, 5 of each design, 4 of each design, so it must be 5 of each. And this is the sentiment set that you can buy that goes with this kit. But I don't like just buying a stamp set for a kit and then never use it again. So I like to find other ways to use it. So I use this sentiment for our wreath card and for many others. Let me show you another one. So this was my card for my blends class that I've had running this week. And that's the sentiment, and you can see they're all a bit glittery. They're the flowers, poinsettias, I believe, from the kit, from the stamp, which is just there. So I made that card with it. Plus, one of the cards that my girls are making this week, which is using this Christmas tree, or a tree. This is the card. Now, if I can get it out of the light. This is the card that we're making next week for one of my card classes. And it's using lots of sparkly glimmer. So the whole piece of paper is glittered. And there's the trees just in the background. So just because the stamp set is for a kit doesn't mean you can just use it for the kit. So that's just a few other samples. Okay, so I'll move those all out of the way. So obviously the hero of this card has to be the Sprig punch. Here's my Sprig punch, which has got a bit of a working out. This punch is fantastic, guys. If you don't have this punch yet, put it on your order next. It really is brilliant. I've used it for so many things. I've used it to put behind sentiments. I've even used it for antlers on my elves. I've made them into little reindeer antlers on the beautiful elves from Signs of Santa. I just think you're going to be able to use it all year round. It's not going to be just for Christmas. This is going to be great for just tucking behind your little sentiments when you want to add some leaves and some foliage or anything. This is the stamp to do it. But of course, on this card, we are using the sprigs as what they are meant for, to turn them into a wreath. All right, enough chatting. Let's get started. So, the main base of our cardstock is crumb cake. And we're going to cut that. I'll bring out my trimmer. We're going to cut that because it's a square card. It's a 5 by 10 base. So we're going to cut it at 5 inches. And then we're going to flip it over. Oh, my camera's going in and out a little bit. And we're going to come to 10 inches. And the thing that I love most about my trimmer, other than the fact that it cuts beautifully, is the fact that I can score at the same time. So I'm going to bring it back down to 5 and I'm going to give it a score. And that's my base done. Look at that. All in one go. Awesome. All right, so that's our base. So I'm going to put that to one side because we don't need that for the moment. Now, I love to double mount. So the front panel for the wreath is measured at 4 5/8. Now, if you guys don't know 5/8, let me bring this up so you can see a little bit closer. So this big one is obviously your 4. Then your next big one is your first eighth. Your next big one, which is also your quarter, is your second eighth. The next big one along is your third eighth. Your next big one along, which is also your half mark, is your fourth eighth. And then the next big one along is your fifth eighth. So that's where it's going. So I want it to be 4 5/8. And I'm just going to turn it around and do the same again because it is a square. So 4 5/8. So that is my, oh, we've gone out of focus. There we go. So that is my wreath panel where my wreath is going to go on. So I'll just put that aside. So the other one that we want is going to be a little bit bigger again. So instead of being 4 5/8, we're going to go that next little quarter along and we're going to do 4 3/4. So that's my 4 3/4. Turn around and 4 3/4 again. So when I bring these two together, you will see that that one is just slightly bigger. You see that? Than the other one. I love double mounting like this. I think it's really, really pretty way of doing it. So a little bit bigger, 1/8 bigger. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside. And so I don't get confused, I'm going to put that one in there. Now my camera keeps zooming in and out. I'm sorry about that. I hope I'm not making anyone feel sick. I'll try not to lift my hands up too much. All right, so now we're going to come on to doing the wreath. Now everyone asked me, how many sprigs does it take to make the wreath? So when I did my second wreath, my second practice, I roughly counted and I think I might have got to 42 or 43 of these sprigs to sort of fill it out. Rough estimate, depending on how big your circle is going to be, will depend on how many, and whether you want to add a few will also depend if you obviously add a couple more to it. But I have a rough estimate, about 40, which is roughly one whole sheet of A4 in Tranquil Tide. So let's bring out the other colours. So my main sprig colour is Tranquil Tide. Now what I've done is I actually cut these pieces out. Let me just zoom in a little bit more, maybe it won't flutter so much. I actually cut these out and they measure, let me double check, I think they were 1 1/4. So it's A4 length, and I think I cut them at 1 3/4. So they're 1 3/4 along. And that is roughly the size of your sprig. So I just cut it down like this so that we don't waste too much paper. So we get at least 4 and a little bit out of one of those. So that should be hopefully enough for your wreath. Hi Tan, hi Brenda, thanks for joining. So you're going to want some Tranquil Tide. Now the lighter shade in the card is this beautiful soft seafoam, which I love. I love this colour. It's a really fresh, minty sort of colour. And I think it pairs really nice with our vanilla and with our crumb cake colours. And of course, before I forget, the glittery piece, because you know Christmas isn't Christmas without a glittery piece. And this is the Tranquil Tide glitter that comes in the pack of 3. Let me find the page for you. Here we go. So it's in the Joyous Noel suite, and it is just down here, Joyous Noel glimmer paper. So it comes in 3 different shades. You have your Tranquil Tide, your Merry Merlot, and this beautiful copper. And you get 24 sheets, 8 of each. And guys, it really lasts a long time. And for $26, it's brilliant. It will pretty much cover all your Christmases in one go, all your Christmas card creation. So there we go. Hi, Karen. Finally caught me live, not often. Okay, so that's your colour palette for today. So we really need to get punching, don't we? So I'm going to move all this out the way. I'm going to try not to lift up my hands. I think that's what's starting to make the camera zoom in and out. All right, so we'll bring back our wreath beginning. Now, I like to start with a template. And so what I have here is just one of our dies, our circle dies that we have with the scallops and circles. This is not the biggest, but the next one down. And obviously, depending on the size of your paper will depend on which size you really want to get. So this is the second one down. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to work that to be roughly in the middle. I'm going to find my pencil, which is under my huge pile of mess. So I might have to get another one. Always keep a spare handy. So roughly there, and I'm just going to draw a very rough circle. Can you see that, guys? There you go. Very faint, very rough circle. All right, and this is going to be our guide. We are going to use this circle to put our wreath together. Now, there's not too many tips of the wreath. It doesn't take a long time. You could probably do it in the class. We're obviously going to do it now. But the only thing I do want to say is when you are doing it, let me punch a couple out so I can show you. I'll just punch. I had some leftover Tranquil Tide here, so I'm just going to quickly punch a couple out. And that's what I tend to do, girls. I tend to punch a few out to start with because you don't want to have to keep stopping and starting. So punch yourself a few. Like I said, it's roughly a whole page of A4 in the Tranquil Tide. So we'll do a strip. Get repetitive strain syndrome doing that. All right, so there we go. We've got a couple in the Tranquil. We're going to punch a few glimmer. And, you know, maybe this would be a product class. You know, I think that's what I'm going to do with my girls. I think we might make this as our product class in November because we've got a spot and we couldn't decide on what to put in that date. So, I don't think I can fit one in there. So, this could be my product class. All right, so that's that one. And then we'll add a couple of the soft sea foam. Oh, got a bit of glimmer still trapped in there. Oh, I forgot to mention. Now, guys, if you share this video, everyone who shares and comments that they've shared it onto their wall will go in to win. I've got some, what is it called? Mango Melody. Mango Melody blends. So if you share my video, and there's usually a little spot that says, would you like to share this with your friends? Share my video and put shared in the comments, and then I'll pick one of you randomly and I'll send you the Mango Melody blend duo set just as a little thank you for sharing. All right. Oh, look, my mum's watching. Hi, Mum. This is about the only time we get to talk to each other is when I'm doing a video. Though she's coming to visit me in a couple of weeks. 11 more sleeps. I think the kids told me, Mum, that you'll be here. So we'll go super fast. All right. Okay, so anyone who knows me will laugh about this, but Tombow is the only way to stick these little things down. Glue dots, you would use a whole packet of glue dots. They're no good at all. The fine tip glue pen's just not quick enough. You need something that you can stick down, hold in place, and will go straight away. That will set straight away. So that's Tombow's the way to go. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much I hate Tombow. Not because of the glue at all. The glue's fantastic. But because I get it stuck everywhere. I get it stuck to all my fingers. I get it stuck on my paper, absolutely everywhere. So I have my cloth handy, which has got a wet bit, so I can wipe my hands as I go in case I end up with glue absolutely everywhere. All right, so I'm actually going to sit down for this so I can see what I'm doing because I can't find my glasses. Oh, no, actually, there they are. That might help. Right, I'm going to try not to get my head in the camera with you all while I do this. All right, so this is, oh, Sharon loves Tombow and wet wipes. Yeah, they go together, Sharon. You can't have one without the other. Otherwise, you end up going with everything stuck to you and the paper and just literally, I get it everywhere. I'm not very good at it. All right, so this is the Sprig punch. How cool is that? Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? Now, I'm showing it up close because I want you to see, do you see how this side curves in a little bit more? That is going to be your outside wreath. So that needs to be, oh, look, what's that on the other side? I've obviously, oh, it's the label. I've got some label stuck to this one. How funny is that? I happen to have a piece of sticky label stuck to it. That is funny. I don't know where that's come from. Oh, no, there's probably heaps of them on there. All right, we'll work with that as we go. All right, so that needs to be, on your outside, and that's going to make your curve for your wreath go round. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a little bit of glue on the bottom of this, and you're just going to line it up with your circle, like that. So I'll put a couple on. Like I said, I'm going to get down low and try not to get my head in, but I'm going to have to get low enough that I can actually see what I'm doing. We need to go, oh, hang on, girls. Which way? Well, let me try again because I've stuck the glue on the wrong way. So we need to go this way round. You want that curved sprig on the outside, but they need to be facing clockwise, okay? If you do them anti-clockwise and you go on top this way, all you'll do is flatten them. You'll just, if I show you quickly, flatten them, flatten them, flatten them. And this is the only bit that's going to poke up. So you want to make sure that they are facing clockwise when you put them down. Does that make sense? All right, it might do as we go along. So we want a little bit of glue, just a little bit. And we're literally just going to line up that stem. Now, glue is going to go everywhere. Don't worry about it. All right, I'll bring that up for you to have a little look at. So let's see if we can focus. There we go. So I've obviously got glue everywhere, but you're not going to see that. And it also dries clear. But you want that stem to be in the middle of your line, okay, with the curve on the outside. All right. And then it's a matter of building them up as you go. So I like to do 3 green, 3 of the Tranquil Tide, and then one fancy one or one different one. So 1, 2, 3, and then we might add in a soft sea foam. So put that there. And all I'm doing is I'm laying one just over the top of the other. So if I bring that up again so you can see, I'm just keeping that bit running up the circle, and where it ends is where I'm going to put my next one. So this one is literally just going to go just over the end there. Okay. All right, I'm going to get going because you and I probably don't need to be here for 5 more hours with me chit-chatting along. All right, so I'm just going to keep going all the way up. So like I said, 3 tranquil card ones. And then, like I said, they stick to my finger more than they stick to the cardstock. And then a fancy one again, always with that curved leaf on the outside. That's it. And it's just a matter of keep going round, girls, really. Keep going. So what was that? 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to add a glitter one in. Oh, my Tombo's getting a bit of a gluey end. Come on, Mr. Tombo, stick out. Oh, now I've got loads. That's usually how it goes, doesn't it? So, glitter, and back to these ones. So have you guys been enjoying the Christmas catalogue? Have you been purchasing all the beautiful things? Got a favourite so far of what you love most? I have to admit, my biggest surprise was the Signs of Santa. I brought it really for the kids to use. And I ended up using it in class a few times, and my girls have loved it. They've really, really enjoyed using it in that, which I was surprised because I would have thought it would have been, you know, one that great for colouring, but I wouldn't have thought it had been as popular as it has. So that's been really nice. And of course, the Joyous Noel DSP, that I love. I think I've now got 5 or 6 packets of that because I just absolutely love it. Oh, and another one, back to the dark green again. So we're just going to go round and round. Oh, I've gone off strip a little bit. There you go. And like I said, I add a couple as I go, and then there's another one. I then punch a few more out when I need them. So what are we up to? 2, so we need another one before we change again. Oh, Tina says she's been having fun with Signs of Santas and wobble cards. Yeah, I've got to get onto the wobble train, Tina. I haven't done that yet, but that would be awesome. Wouldn't that be cool to have a wobbly Santa? All right, another one here. So while I'm doing this, I can talk to you about a promotion that we've got coming up in the next few weeks. I'm actually waiting for my delivery at the moment for a special promotion of 2 new stamp sets and a set of coordinating dies and some velvet paper and I need to punch some more green. Called the Snowflake Showcase, and I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. I ordered it a couple of days ago, and I just checked my tracking, which I'm obsessed with checking now that we can track all our orders. I was hoping it might have got here tomorrow, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be more like Monday now, which is sad, but there you go. It gives me time to get some other things done that I need to do. And I think I might be using it as my swap card for when I go on stage in Florida in a couple of weeks. I'm having a feeling that I might make it as my swap, which will be fantastic. I'm going to have to get my bottom into gear because I think I'm going to end up having to make at least 100 swaps, if not more, with almost 7,000 demos going. So I think my usual 50s probably not going to stretch far. So I've taken this long just trying to come up with an idea of what to do. So I'm just checking that's the right way around. So yes, I think that'd be great. Oh, still stuck to my finger. Must be getting lots of Tombow on my hands now. All right, 2 more of these. Thank you, Gay, for sharing my video. All right, another one. You're only doing 24 swaps, Tina? Gosh. You're going to be giving those out just to the Just Add Ink girls. They'll have all of those before you've even swapped with anyone else. It'll be like a limited edition by the time you've given them out to your team and that. All right, what are we up to now? Glitter. Tranquil Tide. Have you made yours, Tina, or are you doing them? Have you started? I haven't started. My friend who I'm going to Orlando with, my bestie, she's actually already made and packaged hers. That's Kim. Anyone who knows Kim will know that's no surprise. She's always ahead of the game. I think she made hers before we'd even registered. I think she's made about 50, and she's made little treats using the koala stamp, I think, which was super cute. Half done. Oh, you're halfway further than me. Oh, all the dogs are barking. Someone's obviously dared to drive into the street. Set off dog patrol. All right, so we're onto a light one then. So you can see how quick this takes. Like once you get going, it really doesn't take that long. Hardest part is getting it off your finger. All right, back to the dark green ones again. Tranquil Tide. All right, that one's going to go there. I'm going to need a bit more Tranquil Tide. Like I said, it takes just about an A4. Oh, there's my punch. Here we go. Kim and I actually have made T-shirts for when we go to on stage, so all the Americans won't miss us. I think we made 3 different shirts, but one of them has a big gold outline of Australia, and Kim even did a glittery polka dot spot right where Port Macquarie is, so people know where I am. Are you going to do Aussie pencils? Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that, Tina. Ugh. Well, I can't even steal your idea because you're going to be at Orlando with me. I have to come up with something else. I think I'm just going to do the card with the snowflakes. It gives me a good reason to use a bit of snow because obviously it doesn't really get very snowy here in Australia in Christmas. And I'm sure my mum will appreciate a snowy card considering she'll be in India when it's Christmas and they don't get much snow where she is either. All right, so we are almost all the way round. So we're now coming to what I like to call the sticky end. I'm just going to get my cloth and give my hands a wipe because I have got glue absolutely everywhere. Okay, so when we get to this bit here, we need to start still sticking them on top, but you want to hide them underneath. So this is when it gets a bit tricky. So you still want to stick it on top, but you want to sort of start to go under these leaves here. So the first couple shouldn't be too hard, but as we get close to the other ones, we can go a little bit off trot. So we've got to make sure that we're still consistent with staying on that line. And curved sprig on the outside. Oh, that one's got quite a lot of glue. I might use it for this one as well. Double duty, that bit. So we're going to slide that underneath. Put that one in again. Now, if you start to get glue everywhere, don't worry about it. It dries nice and clear. And because you're sort of covering these, you won't really notice. All right, let's have a little look. So there's a little hole there and a couple of little holes here. So we might put a few more in there. I think we'll do one more green. There we go. One more green. Just slide that under there. on, little guy, get in there. There you go. And looking at it, I feel like it needs one more glitter. So I'm going to push in the glittery one, and I kind of want him, lift this one up. I kind of want him to go in about there, like that. Turn him around a bit. All right, and that is pretty much your wreath. There you go, look at that. So because they're still a little bit wet, you can sort of move them in if they're a little bit spaced out. You can also obviously go around and add any more that you want to, but that is pretty much your wreath done. How cool is that? So what we do is we set that over to one side for a little bit to leave that to dry. So I'm just going to put that off camera. And now if I bring this card back over, we want to do our sentiment. So I'm going to use some of our beautiful vellum. I love this stuff. It's so pretty. And we're going to get the stamp from Timeless Tidings. We're going to get the Merry Christmas stamp, which is this one here. And that's what we're going to use to stamp on our vellum. Now, you can totally stamp with embossing and emboss this with embossing powder. But I actually didn't want it to be so harsh. I wanted it to be a little bit softer than that. So I'm just going to use ink. And I'm going to use Early Espresso, which I love with our Very Vanilla. I like black with white, and I like Early Espresso with our Very Vanilla. So I'm just going to stamp that up nicely. And I'm going to, I'm going to work from, I might turn this around because it's a bit curved down there. I'm going to work from the bottom. Now, I always use my grid paper to line up my paper when I stamp, because it makes it easy to also line up your sentiment. And I'm just going to try not to get my head in the picture. I'm just going to stamp down here like that. There you go. There's your Merry Christmas. Now that does take, if I get closer, that does take a while to dry. So you really need to let that dry for a little bit. So it's up to you whether you want a heat gun and just set a little heat gun on it and just heat it up that way. You can blow on it, though it takes a long time to do like that. I, however, have one I made earlier. Here we go. Here's one that I did earlier on for my second practice. And all I'm going to do is just trim this one down. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. Oh, now I wanted to show you a trick with this. So let me find my tape. All right, so I only want to trim a little bit off, but as you can see, this is not going to line up at the top here. It's going to sort of slip and slide, which is really, really annoying. So I found out this little tricky. Oh, I've lost my guide. Where's my trimming guide? That's not going to cut at all. What did I do with that? It was there earlier. Oh, there it is. It's hiding under there. Put that back in. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line up roughly where I want it to go, which is, sticking to my fingers because I've got Tombow all over me. And I'm going to use some washi tape or masking tape or painter's tape, whatever you want to do. So I've got a little bit of sticky tape, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to use my sticky tape just to hold that into place, like so. Ta-da! So I've lined it up using my grid lines on the bottom and also with where my cutting blade's going to be. And I can now just cut that, and it's not going to move. Ta-da! I worked that out yesterday. I was really pleased with myself. So it means you can get a nice skinny little piece without it sort of moving around, and try not to catch your finger on this bit and all the rest of it. So, and then the good thing with this is that you can use this, stick it on there, and it's there for next time as well. All right. Oh, and should I give you one more trimmer trick while I'm here? So your trimmer comes with two blades. Well, one blade and a score. So this is your scoring blade for scoring your cardstock. This is your trimmer blade. Now, anyone who's ever cut glitter paper will know that your blades are blunted buy glimmer paper every time. So what I do is once I've got a blunt blade, instead of throwing it out, I take that blade off and I leave it to one side. I put my new blade on and then I put the old blade back on. Here it is. And that's the one I use to cut my trimmer paper with, my glitter paper. And all I do is I keep this little glimmer blade down the bottom here. So it doesn't interfere with your cutting platform at all, but it just means that you can use this to cut your glimmer, which is still sharp enough for that, without ruining your nice paper trimmer one. And of course, because it's got the nice grid down the bottom here as well, you can cut all your glimmer down here. So another top tip. All right, I'm going to put him away. Put his little latch on, put him to one side. All right, so you guys are obviously got your sentiment drying out, but mine's already done. I'm just going to flag end my sentiment with my snips. So I'm just going to snip up. Now, I showed this to a customer the other day and she'd never flagged her ends like this and was absolutely amazed at how easy it is. So, just in case anyone here doesn't know, you trim in the middle. So see how you've got a cut there, if I show you, cut there. And then all you do is you go corner to middle and corner to middle, and there you go. Ta-da! It's the only way Tina does it. That's it, Tina. It's the only way we roll. It's so much quicker and easier like that, isn't it? So that is your sentiment for your card. So I'll bring my card back in. Now, I found the easiest way to add this was with glue dots because everything shows through vellum. I've even tried vellum tape and it doesn't work. It still shows through. But get yourself a glue dot. Here we go. Here's one here. And I find you want to fold it in half. I'll use my Stanley blade for this. Fold it in half, or I like to call it, make it a glue bogey. And where the line of the M is, if I come up nice and close, I'm going to put the glue dot just there on the line of the M. And then I'm going to get another glue dot. I'm going to fold that one over as well. Another glue bogey. Turn it around, and where the S is, I'm going to put my little screwed up glue dot on the S, and then that way it doesn't show through as much. And then all you're going to do is going to stick one end there, one end there. I like to always, it helps if it's straight. Oh, let's try that again. See if I can move it up without ripping it. There we go. I don't mind if it's got a bit of a bow in the middle. I like the fact that it's sort of three-dimensional like that. So there you go, there's your sentiment stuck on. So all you really need to do now is add a bow. I absolutely love this vanilla and copper ribbon. It comes in a set. It's in the tea time ribbon combo. And it's so pretty. Can you see that? Look. And so it comes in this colour, and it also actually comes in copper and tranquil tide. So same as this green. And all you're going to do is, I actually made a double bow. Do you guys know how to make a double bow? So what you do is you double up your ribbon and then you just make a bow like you normally would. Hope you don't drop any of it. Oh, I think I dropped that bit. All right, try again. Round through the, stop dropping it, through the hole. Oh. It's because I got Tombow stuck on my fingers. All right, so that's one tail, that's another tail, and that is, see that? So you've got a double bow like that. Ta-da. And then all you do is cut that bit off, cut that bit off. Oh, caught on my bit of paper. And there's your double bow, just like that. And again, you will just stick that with a glue dot to your card, like so. And then I had some of those red jingle bells left over from a few years ago that we had, which I can't actually find. Oh, there they are. So we had these mini jingle bells. I don't know if these are still on the clearance shop. They might be. But mini jingle bells, they came in silver and red. As you can see, we used all the silver ones. The only ones I've actually got left are the red ones now. But that's what I used for my little bells there. But maybe what you could do is get some of your rhinestones. And as you can see, I've already done some here. And get your blends. So this is my dark cherry cobbler. And maybe you could colour in some of these. Just do a couple really quick. Maybe we could add those on. What do you think? Should we give a go? So this could either work or look like a complete disaster. All right, let's do these ones that I did first. So I'm just going to... Oh. It's because I've taken my glasses off. All right, we might add one there. We might add one maybe there. Let's add another one in. Let's add one down here. I'll move my bow for now. I'll put him on in a minute. Maybe one there. Oh, I quite like those. All right, I'm just going to colour some more. Colour that one back in. So, smudged him. So this is what I love about our blends. We can use them for so many different things. All right, let's get this one here. Let's put, I don't know, maybe there. I always say you should do it in a creative triangle. My girls laugh because I'm always saying to them, now remember to use the creative triangle, which just means whenever you put elements down, they should form a triangle. I don't think this is more like a creative circle. But, you know, you get the idea. All right. Oh, I like that. I'll bring that up so you guys can see. That's quite cute, hey? And what we might do is we might put our ribbon on with a glue dot. Good old glue dots. I literally could eat glue dots. I use them so often. Oh, this one's still stuck to my thumb. Hang on. There we go. So we'll add our glue dot and our bow there. I might have to cut these tails off. They're a bit long. That one and that one. All right, so there you go. That's pretty much the card done. So all we need to do now is find our 2 bits of card. And luckily for me, I always remember to put my card pieces in my base. Oh, I've lost focus again. And so we could use a bit of Tombow, but I'm just going to use a bit of tear tape because it's nice and quick and not so messy because I literally have Tombow everywhere. So I'm just going to quickly Tombow those. Sorry, tear tape. Chuck that. There we go. Could have used my snail. I don't know where I've done with my snail. I think he's snailed off. All right, we're just going to double mount him. Like so. And then we'll flip him over. And a bit of tape here. Bit of tape here. Peel him off. And again. Oh, honestly, Brenda, you tell Chelsea. She doesn't know what she's talking about until she's got herself some glue dots. All right, I'm just going to put that on there. And there you go. All done. So all I need to do now is cut another piece of vanilla and put that on the inside. And I might actually have, let's have a look. Have I got a piece of vanilla big enough? And we can do that quickly. So I really want it to be about 4 3/4, which this piece is. So I'm going to just trim him off. And I've got the sentiment, so I'm using the one that says, hoping beautiful moments and happy memories surround you at this time of year. So that's the one I've got. I've already got him mounted on there. And again, when I mount my stamps, I line up my block to my grid paper, and then I line up my stamps to, where's the ink? To the lines underneath. All right, and we're just stamp the sentiment. We're just going to stick, make sure it's the right way up, Chlo. And we're going to stick that about, that'll do. There, ta-da! Awesome, look at that. So we'll put the ink away before we stick something in it, like our finger. Turn over, bit of tape again. Remember, if you share this video, guys, you can go in to win the Mango Melody markers. Make sure you comment below that you've shared it so that I know who to enter. All right, bring the card back in. Line him up. There you go. And there. Done. So that's the one we've just made. Bring back the one I made earlier. Made a big mess. Got mess everywhere. But beautiful. There you go. So that's the one I made originally with the bells. And this is the one I've just made with you guys. And I've put the little rhinestones, red rhinestones on. How awesome is that? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and for watching my card be made. It's so fantastic that to be able to do this with you all. Hopefully I'll be able to do it a bit more often if I can get organised, especially once the kids go back to school, and it means that I no longer have to actually share my internet with the children in the house. If you want to purchase any of the things that you've seen me use today, you can send me a Facebook message or leave a comment and I can direct you. Don't forget I have a special on at the moment. That anyone who places an order of $65 gets the beautiful copper and Merry Merlot reversible ribbon. And then anyone who's placed an order goes in to win the Sprig punch, actually. So it's going to be the Sprig punch and a packet of the Joyous Noel DSP. So that's one to definitely enter for. But make sure you use my hostess code, which is on my blog and on my Facebook page. All right, ladies, I will speak to you all very, very soon. Have a lovely afternoon. Take care. Bye.